So here it is. The big... Oh, wait, it's different. Wait, they changed this. So for 100 USD now, for 10,000 collector's tokens versus the data mine, which was for $40, only 3,500 collector's tokens. Wow. I'm trying to collect my thoughts as I'm trying to assess exactly what I'm thinking. I don't even want to know how long I've been sitting here in silence trying to assess this. And however long it's been, it probably hasn't been long enough. First and foremost, again, this is a this doesn't feel good moment for a number of reasons, okay? Number one, anytime something drops into the shop, for any player, whether you are a full-blown whale or you are a free-to-play player, anytime a bundle hits at $99.99, it never feels good, right? It always feels like it's meant to be specifically a catch-up mechanic. It's meant to be something that accelerates your account tremendously to move you forward. And I think the fact that the game has been out for a year, a little over a year, that now that we've just had the Conquerors event, now that we've had the PC launch a couple of months ago, we're in the 3-month honeymoon phase of all of the new PC players that are trying to accelerate their account to catch up and be Series 3 complete and get the new Series 4 and 5 cards, so that way they kind of refine the system. So as they move forward with targeting that demographic, one of the biggest investment pieces that players are consistently, griping about is collector tokens. And because they're been griping about collector tokens, any opportunity to obtain a mass amount of them at one time is interesting, because then it does open your eyes. If you're a competitive person, but maybe you joined Marvel Snap late and you are looking to accelerate your collection and wait for it to pop up in your shop and boom, okay, I got that Series 5 card that I'm missing, which is 6,000 tokens. Maybe I get the Series 4 that I'm missing for 3 and I have a little bit of spare change. You can't even get 2 Series 5 cards with this bundle for 100 USD. So if I'm looking to progress my collection for 100 USD, if I did the same thing in gold and then utilize that gold to convert it into credits and get other variants and boosters and more credits, etc., I can confidently tell you wouldn't even get close to 10,000 collector's tokens. You wouldn't. It would be an absolute waste in trying to accelerate in the same speed if you're target farming very specific things. Because remember, what the devs have made very clear in their game repeatedly in public and private forums is that they are trying specifically not to monetize the game via pay to win. They are trying to monetize the game via pay for cosmetics. That's what they are trying to do when it comes to supporting the structure of the game. It is abundantly clear in a variety of different locations and statements from both Second Dinner and Newverse. So let's blanket statement that first, that they are trying to monetize via the cosmetics. This does not feel like that, does not look like that, does not support that argument. The argument that it does support is an acceleration mechanic for those who are behind. This is not meant for players who've been playing since beta. This is not meant for players that have been playing for the last 6 months. This is, let me give you almost 2 full Series 5 cards for $100 because you are getting close and you want to specifically get certain Series 4 and 5 cards, which, by the way, have not dropped in months. So there's that aspect to this, number one. Number two, the other reason this doesn't feel good, whether you're a long-time player or a short-time player, is because of data mine sites, whether it be your favorite in Marvel Snap Zone or Snap Fan. Look, you guys know I'm the lead content manager for CCG Hub. We don't do data mines. We partner directly with Untapped for current live competitive data. That's our forum. We are not a data mine site. My past home, SnapFan, is a great data mine site, and I highly recommend them for that specific market. If you look at what it was data mined previously, but at a very different price point and a very different approachable, perspective. It was set up to be a $40 bundle with 3,500 collector's tokens. Same variants, same avatar, same number of boosters. all integrated within this, right? So what they've done was the data mine, once again, this is now a pattern that we're starting to see, and I'll get to this. The pattern is 3,500 collector's tokens for $40, right? So spin off of that for a second. Let me go back over here. It has now gone from 40 to 100. So because it went from 40 to 100, it's gone up 2.5 times, right? That's a big jump. Like $10 here, even $20 here, sure. Even, justify it as a 50% increase, sure, that's fine. But a lot of people use these sites to budget ahead of time. Always, data mines are subject to change. They are. But when it's this drastic of a change, it doesn't feel good. Now, that is the fault of the community. Let me be clear on that. You will not like hearing that, but that is our fault. That is our fault 100% because we took the data mine as gospel. 100%. It is not the case. You should not be doing that, ever. It is a tool for guidance in the future. Unless if it is something that has been announced by Second Dinner previously. Sometimes when they do the season pass announcements, they'll announce bundles ahead of time too at certain price points with the information so you know exactly what's coming per Second Dinner. And those, when you're talking about advanced budgeting, yes, that you can practically take as gospel. They've made mistakes in the past and before, but they've also rectified them when they have. So it doesn't feel good. The upside on this is that the quantity of token per dollar did go up. There is that piece to this. This went from about a 2.5 times to almost a 3 times evaluation on what that dollar per collector's token did. So it did go up in collector's token value by about 20, almost 20%. We'll say about 18, 16. Somebody else in the chat and comments and whatever can do that math, right? So it almost made it better. But it never feels good when it jumps that much. We have to swallow that one, though, unfortunately, because we have data mine sites that do that, that look at those bundles and say, here's the evaluation of that bundle. And then they take that as their budget. And when it comes out different, it doesn't feel good. But again, I revert back to the prior statement. Second Dinner needs to monetize. They are still a business, and they're monetizing via the variants. I disagree with this dramatic of a change because that's not what this is. This is monetization for acceleration for the new wave of players. But the players who are going to complain about this the most are not the players trying to catch up. It will be the longtime players that are looking at that bundle going, you know what, 3,500 tokens, that's a free Series 4 card because I'm an efficient farmer and I could use that next month to get my next Series 4 card. I'm also probably sitting on several thousand collector's tokens anyway, so it's not as 911 for me to get. Very much so could be a possible choice. I feel that when this then drops down as a, wow, I really don't need these if you're a long-time player, and maybe you were just thinking about these awesome, cool variants. Like, this is a really great variant for Kingpin. This is a really awesome variant for Ghost Rider. Maybe you were gonna spend $40. Maybe. But now you're not because it's $100 for the cosmetic. That's not cool by me. That doesn't feel good once again. And most of the longtime players would probably have considered this bundle for a Series 4 card and 2 really cool variants for $40. Those same players, those same exact players, are less incentivized to spend $100 for 10,000 collector's tokens in the 2 variants. However, I have watched this happen in prior games beforehand. Many games that have been around for a year are looking to monetize by keeping their top end happy. But at the same time, you have to preserve the free-to-play experience entirely and still have people that have been continually investing into the game continue to invest into the game. Those players do not need this bundle. Those players would have wanted this bundle with gold maybe, like the Black Bolt bundle, most of the top end players got it because it was the equivalent of $100 worth of gold for 70 USD plus a very cool variant. I even got it. I love it. It was a great investment. This is not going to keep those people happy. This bundle is targeted towards a completely different demographic that isn't being discussed in Marvel Snap. And that's the acceleration group that is trying to catch up in the game. This is for them. So I think this is a test. I think Second Dinner, personally, at this time of the year, is currently testing to see what the market is as an acceleration mechanic. And let me tell you why. I think that this is a perfect opportunity for them to look at the metrics over the next week and take a look at this bundle and decide, are there newer players that are currently willing to invest into the game? Because when they do that, then they can start looking at 2024 entirely differently too when they come back from their holiday break. They've probably already been looking at certain forecasting, but certain purchase bundles like these, they need to know, okay, this second wave of players that are coming into Marvel Snap, are they more a demographic that will do less purchases but do larger purchases all at once? Or is this demographic that's only been joining the game for maybe 2 or 3 months, are they micro spenders, micro transactions? That's the word I'm looking for. Micro transaction purchasers. Do they buy the bundles that are $10, $15, $20 in mass? Or would they rather save all their money for $100 all at once? That's what I think this is, because $40 is a very difficult price point to kind of mitigate around. They're trying to decide, is it too much or is it too little? $40 would have kept the current players happy. $100 pisses them off. The newer players, they don't know that necessarily. They haven't seen as much information there about what does this demographic bring to the game. How is this new wave of people that came in September with the launch of PC and a second wave of winnings because they saw things at different award shows and they're still continuing to bring in new players? What is this most recent group? Not the beta players, not the global launch players, the last 3 to 4 months players. What are they bringing to the monetization of the game? And I can speak to experience from this, where I have played games, and I know many of you probably have too. You have played games where you've watched a game die because they address it very specifically with their past players, as well as who are they trying to obtain as new players, or are they trying to squeeze as much as possible out of the remaining life from their top players before they just say, you know what, enough is enough. This isn't that. Marvel Snap is not on a downtrend. This is not going to make your whales run. This bundle is an experiment, in my opinion. And again, I do not work for Second Dinner. I do not work for Newverse. I do not have any direct association with Marvel Snap, right? We all know that stuff. I am my own person. I have my own opinions, but I also have my own experiences. And to me, when you make an adjustment that was data mined as one thing and is this drastically different, more often than not, this is a test. This is a let's see what happens here test. Because the top end creators and players and people, we don't need this. We don't. Beta players absolutely don't need this, and they will not buy it. If they really love the cosmetic, they'll get it for the cosmetic, but they don't need the collector tokens. I can tell you confidently. If you're missing 3 cards out of an entire collection, and this will get you almost 2 of them, you're still not getting it. Because you know your farming efficiencies, you know to wait for it to eventually come around into a spotlight, you know that you have an ungodly amount of tokens and tickets and keys and all this kind of stuff, and you'll get it eventually. You know that. Because you've been playing for a year and a half and you've been watching everybody's content most likely. So we're not talking to you. I'm talking to Joe Bob, who has been playing the game for 3 months, really loves the game, and wants to become competitive, but they're missing big cards. They're missing that Darkhawk, and they never got to have it pop up in the store. They are missing that Annihilus that just came out, and it's the best card in the game right now, in the top deck of the game right now. And they didn't get Annihilus. Damn it, I wish I could. Wait a minute, now I can. That's what this is for, those people. But here's what's going to happen in the community. There will be riot. There will be riot, but it's our own damn fault. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be data mines, but let this, for the long-term community, be a lesson in respecting the asterisk that comes with data mining, which is everything always is subject to change. Everything in a data mine is subject to change, honestly, consistently over and over and over again. Remember, OTAs, Second Dinner can adjust anything numerically like this in a second. They go in there, change it. Numerically, they can make those adjustments. That's the exact same case for this. They went into the bundle. They didn't change the equipment of the bundle whatsoever. And they said, here, let's increase this dollar amount, increase this token amount. Give it off to the community. Everything is subject to change in a data mine. If you lived to it as everything that it needed to be, that is your fault. However, simultaneously, because Second Dinner acknowledges that data mines exist and acknowledges that there's a large portion of the community that loves to farm and be efficient and try to use their resources to the best of their possibility, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. It doesn't feel good as a consumer because we could not plan effectively to do that, to forecast ahead. But let me let you in on a little secret here, okay? Second Dinner doesn't need you to be efficient. When you're more efficient because too much information is consistently out there, they make less money. And it's not a greed thing, it's just a mathematical fact. If they know that one of the most important aspects of monetization is FOMO, the fear of missing out, why would they want to give too much information out ahead of time? It's this healthy thing for the monetization of the game. It doesn't mean it feels good. It just means that as a business decision, it was a smart decision. You just don't have to like it.